We are live. This is Mo's talk show. This show is directed to all speakers, English speakers. Therefore, you welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please subscribe and give a like. If possible, share much as you can. This channel is direct to inform what is going on in Mozambique after 49 years of independence. Therefore, welcome to our guest today. Is a very special gentleman from Mozambique. So I'll let him introduce himself on his own words.
Well,
Welcome.
I thank you. Good night um, for everyone who is on live and is able to reach out. Elvio Malawen. I'm from Mozambique, and I'm a student in Ireland, and I also feel this pressure, and the situation is kind of um, pointing on me because I am also a person with family, and I also worked in the system. I've also worked in the government, and I know what I'm talking about. So it's gonna be a very good time for me to just expose and say how I feel as a person, not more like a politician, but as a citizen.
Citizen.
Yeah, that has got his own rights, and we are humans, and we have to treat each other as humans. And this is what we're going to do this night. And thank you.
Pleasure. Uh, Democracy is out of reach in Mozambique after 30 years of peace accords. Before this 30 years peace accord, uh, what what's happened in Mozambique? Why a peace accord? Can you, in few words, explain to the people, to the world? Because one of the biggest challenge, our language, people they don't understand, so people they don't pay attention because the
Yeah.
translation done by the media is complete bananas. So
Yeah.
here we are, the sons of the soil, the sons of Mozambique. Please, in your words, what
Well,
happened there?
thank you. It's great to talk about this for the world because many people, when I bump with here in Ireland, they kind of ask me, "Where is Mozambique? What is this thing that is, where are you coming from?" And so it's difficult to tell people where I'm from and what is going on in Mozambique. But it's Mozambique is a very beautiful country. It's a very great country with very hospitable people, and we only go around the world to search up for life. So Mozambique has become independent since 1975, and from there, only 1 year after that, we had an outbreak of a civil war. We didn't understand the reason of this war, but later on we understood it was because there was an installed uh, system of government that was not willing people to be free. It's like this system was more of communism, and it was difficult for people to live, and we had to fight for democracy. And this took us 16 years, and Mozambicans lost families. I was born in this period. I know what I'm saying. I suffered with my family. We had to move from place to place, and in 1992, this war ceased, and we established the peace accords between the two movements, Renamo and Frelimo. And we had a kind of agreement, and we had to start afresh with the democracy system. But this democracy system uh, has never changed the status quo. We have seen elections after elections, the same party, which is not a party. I would say it's the liberation movement that tried to change itself to be a party, but it's not a political party. It's still this movement, and this movement feels like they are the owner of the country. They everything that is in the country belongs to them. So, and let's say the people, the institutions, and everything belongs to them. No one can find a way if it's not belonging to this system. So this has been the problem since then until now. And we can see the situation now happening, that people are just tired. People are fed up. People cannot stand for the injustice, for the hunger, for the suffering that has been imposed by the system in the country. So people cannot stand for this, and they're speaking out now. They're demonstrating. They're saying this is the end of this situation. Should we find another way? Should we find a refreshing manner of living as humans in this country? So this is actually the realities that are happening in Mozambique, and we don't have actually the right version of democracy. Is a fake democracy, is a false democracy that is installed in this country, and it's a whole total mess. It's a problem that imposes people to be enslaved and put to suffer a very complicated suffering, where children are put to very weak education and they study under the trees. There's no conditions for people to live.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So this, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to interrupt. We'll come to that. But before we come to that, I would like to introduce that topic. That is a quite interesting point you are bringing there. Mozambique, July 25th of July 1975, Samora Machel becomes the first president of Mozambique. This figure has been too much sugar-coated. I have traveled 170 countries around the world, even Ireland. I don't know if you yourself in Dublin have find some book or something that is not sugar-coated about Mozambique. Everything we know is only articles about newspapers. Samora Machel is the greater leader. Samora Machel is this. Graça Machel is this. Sisano is this. Mozambique is better. This Mozambique helped liberate Zimbabwe. Mozambique helped liberate Namibia. Mozambique helped SWAPO. Mozambique helped the ANC in South Africa. But the world doesn't know about us. This is a question that I want to formulate to you in different way. People might ask, why this question? The point is, why and how education and police sector, they misused to interpret this regime, this oppression going on. Why education and police? Because this is police, this is education. How? Could you explain to me how this thing worked? How is possible these people transform the system of education and then transform these police people to reprimand the people of Mozambique, basically enslave the people?
Slave the people, of course. Well, as an educator that understands deeply the system of education in Mozambique, I've worked in this sector, and I love education because it's the power for the changing of mind, is the power for liberation. I have worked in this system. I have understood that the misuse of education and policy sector in Mozambique to perpetuate this regime is a complex and rooted system based on corruption and political control. Education in Mozambique has been indoctrinated, has been programmed to make people understand, to make people think the only way, never in critical way. The teachers and all people and everyone who is involved in this system is prepared to serve the system itself in This will work on allocation of resources, the resources and the people who can lead education in Mozambique must be connected to the ruling party. So if this happens, it's the greatest problem where everyone who wants to excel, everyone who wants to do well in education has to be a good teacher or wants to be a headmaster of a school or a principal is forced to be part of the regime. In fact, for you to be a headmaster, for you to be a principal, who decides you can be, it's not your qualifications only, it's also the political party in that region. I mean, this ruling party will decide who is going to be the director or the headmaster of this and that school, who is going to be the vice principal of this and that school. So this system has been perpetuated for long periods. And if somebody is there as the leader of the school, I'm just giving a simple example, all the departments, all the resources, they will be provided to these people who believe the only force, the only power is from the education. I mean, is from the Frelimo party. The allocation of resources, this can also depend on the communities. If certain community doesn't support this party of this Frelimo, they will not have a school at all. They will have trees as classrooms. They will have they will not have water in the school. They will not have electricity in this school. We can define this as the region of Mozambique. In the southern, there's more development than in the northern country, in the northern part of Mozambique. Why? Because few people would support this system. If we come to the, let's say also the influence of the history, where the history that is taught, the curriculum is developed to say the story in one side, to say things in one side. They don't mention those people who have opposed the system to the good of the country. They don't mention those people who have been killed by the system for the good of this country. They only put the heroes are the people who were in the side of Frelimo party. But we remember that the Frelimo, the foundation of Frelimo was not only one movement. There were three movements. So all of these movements, they had their own ideologies. But when the system established itself, started segregating people based on ethnicity or origin and all of these things, and this provided a lot of people to be killed, a lot of people to be injustice and toll, suffering in all the situations that we can talk about. So we come to the police. The police is used to enforce people to do things even if they don't want. If somebody is holding the gun, is holding the enforcement instruments, like I'll put you to the jail, I'll take you to the court. This puts people in fear, and even the police officers themselves, they work based on instructions. In Mozambique, we say instructions of the highest, let's say, I don't know how can I express this, authority from the above. Authority from the above means the boss has told you to do this, so you have to do it. It doesn't matter if you're killing, if you're going to kill people, if you're going to make vandalism or whatever you can do, as long as it's the boss who told you. But all the instructions are told verbally. They don't write instructions. But if you don't obey them, you can also be persecuted or killed. This happens also in the legal system. The judges and the judges also, they're dependent on the system of what Frelimo wants it to happen in this country. So this is how education has been used, or let's say has been misused, to be honest, has been misused to provide fear to people, to provide, let's say, ignorance to people, to understand their own rights, to understand their own needs, to speak up, to voice themselves, to know their own rights. So this is how education has been working in Mozambique, and it's a total loss, because we know that if we educated better people, we would have a different country.
Okay, thank you for that introduction. By the way, we've seen in 49 years something very peculiar and very, how I can say, I don't even have words for the pain I have, is I live in South Africa, and the desegregation of education in South Africa is a new process. And South Africa today, you need to attend the school, just attend the school, and then you promote it for the next level. So does that system that Frelimo has brought in 1975, the Minister of Education was this called coating sugar grasa Machel.
Yes.
Yeah, these young people, they call the revolution of 8th of March. These people have been indoctrinated to destroy the system, basically. That is true or not?
Well, I can in one side agree with that, and another side say we have to have some kind of understanding on this generation of eight March. This generation has been uprooted from their own dreams. This generation has been taken because they were still planning to their life, and they were put to do education, to do courses they never dream of. They were imposed to do these things, and this generation, it's kind of a delusion of what has been their plans. And let's say from this time onwards, this system started using these people on their benefit. They would say, we trained you, we put you in this and that, so you have to do the way we want. And this has been what happened from time to time until the next generation came. But in terms of quality of education that has been there, I would say it was better than what is offered now in terms of quality, although
Okay.
the objectives were not clear. Yeah.
So basically, what happened in the 26th of July 1975 was everything planned to root out all intellectual people, all educators and lawyers and everything, send them to deport them to Portugal. That was premeditated, it was very well planned. So 50 years after, the 25th of July 1975, this is a school in Mozambique, and this school has the name of the president. How
Yeah.
can you explain to the world 50 years after independence that Mozambique should be a better country, even better than South Africa?
Yeah.
That is
I
the school.
I would agree with you that the way independence has been projected, the way uh, this whole movement of freedom, let's say freedom, uh, was projected, was kind of very ill projected. That's what I would say, because we can't just stop the process of a country in 24 hours and say tomorrow we start a new thing. And you start a new thing, you put a minister who has not qualifications, you put a minister because only he was in the liberation movement, he is the minister now. And this is actually what brought a lot of black, I mean, let's say a lot of ignorance to people, because people just thought the only thing we have to do is using the gun, is fighting. This is the best thing you can do in this world to make to excel, to be okay. So I would say uprooting all the doctors and all the Portuguese system that was installed and was working well. Not everyone has had the concept of massacrating, of killing Mozambicans and all of this thing. But the conception of our independence, I think, has failed somewhere. That's what I'd
Indeed,
say. Yeah.
indeed. Okay, 49 years or 50 years after, what is the role of academics and the media on the actual situation in Mozambique? It seems here we see a default, we see an intellectual people of our society absent of this mess, of this turmoil. These intellectuals, instead being with the people, are
Yeah.
with the regime.
Yeah.
Are these people who are creating these speeches that to deny the Mozambican people freedom?
Mm.
Mozambique people help to freedom to free Zimbabwe, to free South Africa, Namibia, help a lot, even Uganda.
Yeah.
Many people, when I talk about we help Uganda to be the countries today, they say, whoa, 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 hold on, what you're talking about. But anyway, that is history. How this failure on the system, how these academics and the media, they are not dead. We are the media. I'm the one have to become the media. How? Can you explain to that?
Thank you. Thank you. I will quote two writers. One is Paul Freire, one of my favorite writer in education. He says, when education fails, the oppressed, his dream is to become an oppressor. And another say is from Malcolm X. He says, if you don't understand these media can turn the oppressed to be the victim. I mean, the oppressor to be a victim, and the oppressed to you can punish him. This is to
Okay.
say, yeah, this is to say that
Okay.
um, educators
Yeah.
they kind of they look at the situation and they look at the personal benefits. They look at their safety. Let's say safety. Why am I saying safety? Because in Mozambique is not a country of freedom of speech, to be honest. Even when I'm talking here, uh, there might be people watching this live, and they will try to investigate where I am and what am I doing and all of these things. So there's no freedom of speech in the country. There's no but before you go to the freedom, there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of bribery in Mozambique, where people would be delighted on having a good, let's say, better life than other people on the cost of other people. They would say, let me write lies, let me say lies, let me go to the television and just speak nonsense, and the system will be happy with me. So if that
I'm a good
happens,
boy. I'm a
yeah,
good character.
yeah, and let me just go and be a good character and take the coin and just read one side of the coin and not read the other side of the coin.
Okay.
Today, today, let me just finish this point. Today, I have watched some commentators are saying the people who are protesting in Mozambique are vandals, are useless people, but they can't be bold enough to say that the root of this problem is the robbery in the elections. So this is the type of media we have. This is the type of academics that we have. They can read everything. They know the
They
scenarios.
self and deny. They self and deny
Yes,
the
they
reality,
know all the scenarios, possibilities that can
but they
happen.
can't. They
They
can't
can't
tell.
voice themselves. They can't
Okay.
say the truth. But this has some good reasons. One is they need money. The second, if you don't need money, you will have to struggle with your safety. This is a game. or you get money, keep quiet, or you play with your safety and say the truth on the benefit of the community. This is the game that is in Mozambique. Mozambique is a very dangerous country. I have to say that. in
Yes.
terms of the politicians. Yeah.
Okay, we have somebody here called Armando. I think he's a friend of yours. You know him better than I. I hope let's bring Armando in and greet him. Armando, hi Armando. You have your speaker off.
Off. Yep.
Armando, are you there?
Turn on your microphone.
Hello, hi, good night.
Thank
I don't
you.
know
Thank
if
you.
you can hear me.
We can hear you
You know,
100%. What's
yeah,
happening in
little
Mozambique?
bit. Yes, little bit late to this meeting, and I really got the link from one of my brother called Nelson Kande. So it was before to understand what really we're talking about. But generally, when the other guy was explaining, I could understand that we are talking really about the things that happen here in Mozambique. And first of all, I think you'll really sorry me because of the language. I'm not very how I can say prepared. I'm not good in English, but I would like to share really my point of view according to the situation we live in this uh, country. You know, in this our country, a native country. People used to say we are very rich country, but nowadays I think we turn to be maybe the poorest country in all levels. I'm talking about the political, education, every side, every area. I think we are going step by step to down. And personally, until now, I can say I don't know how it will end because as we as the guy was playing there, we don't have a freedom in Mozambique. I think the life we take now, uh, it's very worse than the other people who are taking in a term of a colonialism. I can say so. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's very dangerous now and very painful uh, to be colonized by the people with the same skin, people from your country, our brothers, your friend. It make you really feeling in a pain in a skin that we are we are suffering. You know.
Yeah.
So I think in these days I'm little bit how can I say not very interested in politics. That's why maybe I can't have
But
here a
let
lot
me
of
ask you,
comments.
our time is finished. We have 2 minutes. Let me ask you, do you believe Frelimu lost the elections?
Of course, it's clear he
That is the
lost.
reason. That is the reason why the people of Mozambique listened to the opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane. Who is
That
in
is the
charge
truth.
now? Now is Venancio Mondlane is in charge. Frelimu is not in charge because whatever whenever he says is basically what is going on. It's true.
Yes, it's true because he won the election. We could see it and we could feel it everywhere, you know. So what is happening is that because our country is in the hand is in the hands of the people of this system. So Venance Monjani seems to not have how I can say supporters. I can say so. So that we can change the situation. But
Okay,
Venance
sorry,
Monjani really.
I have to interrupt you. Our time is finished. I'll be invite you and Elvino for an hour interview. Uh, we have some couple of seconds. I really apologize. I know the world will scream at me. Elvino, few words. You have some few seconds. What you have to say to Armando back home and to the world.
Um,
Yeah. We have very few seconds.
Thank you, thank you. The only thing I have to say is we need help in Mozambique. International bodies, cooperators of Mozambique, look at what you're doing with
Thank you.
Frelimo. Yeah,
Thank you. Welcome to Mo's Talk Show. I'll invite you for an hour program. Really, I appreciate Armando was a good Elvino. Much appreciate for being here on this new platform in English for those who don't know Mozambique. Thank you. Good evening.
thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. Good night.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thanks.